I would like to formally apologize for making sketchbook videos instead of Hamilton animatics. I know it's not what the people want. That is all. Welcome to my floor. This is my sketchbook that I'm going to show you today. Uh-oh. What is that noise? Oh, it's gone. Good. Okay, so the first, 20 to 30 pages of this were drawings I did, years ago. And I just decided to reuse this book. Just use the pages I hadn't used, which was the majority. So we're going to start in the new section. Okay, so this is the sketchbook that I had the majority of October. It's another companion sketchbook. It started early October. So this was for, a lot of this is done in ink because it's Inktober, as you will see. This is sort of based off of Leonardo DiCaprio from the Romeo and Juliet, the newer one. Anyway, so let's talk about Inktober, shall we? It was a while ago, I know, but I'm a little late with these sketchbook videos, as you'll notice. But I basically, so there's different ways you can handle Inktober. There's, you do pencil sketches first and then just go over in ink, or you go hardcore and you just try to draw in ink without making mistakes. And both are good. Both are great. But I decided what I needed was to challenge myself. So I felt like I needed to just start drawing in ink. Because I felt like I was being too precious with my drawings. You know what I mean? Like I was trying way too hard to perfect them, which hindered my artwork by making it look way too polished. So I decided for Inktober I would just, everything I drew would be in ink, and I wouldn't plan before, and I would just, you know, sort of make it up as I went along. And I think that actually helped me a lot. Inktober, I felt like I improved, like I would in a few months. Like that whole month I felt like I just grew a lot, especially with ink. I had sort of worked my way out of ink and was only drawing in pencil and watercolor and only using ink for for inking things after I'd drawn them in pencil. And so drawing directly in ink helped me become more confident with my pencil marks and, you know, that sort of thing. You'll see some Harry Potter stuff in here, of course. This was, I think I was on the 4th book at the beginning of October, so these are the Weasleys. It's not all of them. I think it's just Ron and the twins and Molly and Arthur and Ginny, although I messed up Ginny's face. This is the scene where Mrs. Weasley hugs Harry. I love that scene so much. As you can see, it's basically all in ink, which was the challenge I gave myself for this whole month. It's actually the first time I completed an Inktober month, which I was very proud of myself for. I'd always gotten close and then just sort of given it up, and I feel like I've improved. Last year's Inktober, this is Aang. Love Aang. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. But I felt like last year's Inktober was sort of, I was being precious with the ink, if you know what I mean. Like I was trying way too hard to make it look perfect, and then if it didn't look perfect I didn't want to continue, so I sort of sputtered out a little bit. Ginny and Dean Thomas. But this year I just sort of was like, just draw everything you want to draw, but do it in ink, and challenge yourself and try to, you know, get better. Because the first few drawings I did in Inktober were, you know, not that good, and I was like sort of discouraged, and I was like, ugh, I can't draw perfectly in ink. No one can draw perfectly in ink, it's permanent. But as I went on, I sort of found that it was easier to make the lines that I needed, or I was more confident with my lines, so it ended up being something that I liked better. Because drawing in ink, you really have to make decisions. And so it helps you become a better decision maker with art, I think. And all of these stickers are in here because I'm like making portfolios, so I'm just marking things that I think might work, that I might want to put in a portfolio or fix for a portfolio. Anyway, this is my character Lucas. He's gonna be in something I make someday, I promise. I don't know why, for some reason I drew a lot of people getting impaled. I don't know why. I think it was because in English class we were talking about Greek tragedies and stabbing and stuff. So I guess as you see, I like increasingly get better with ink because I'm getting used to it. Like a few months ago I was using ink a lot and then I sort of faded out. I sort of stopped using it as much. But then the Inktober definitely revitalized my love of ink. This is supposed to be it's like my own version of a Bowtruckle, but it just looks like Groot. And I realize that now. I like the Bowtruckle design in the Fantastic Beasts movie. But yep, everything's in ink. And now I just kind of draw in ink. Like I just sort of collect ink pens, and that's sort of my go-to media now. Yeah, I think I was in the 4th and 5th book because I'm drawing Cho Chang on Valentine's Day, which was in the 5th book. That was a funny chapter. When they go to Madame Puttyfoot's like tea shop or whatever, and she's just crying. Good. Ginny. Yeah, I recently lost one of my sketchbooks, the one I've been working on for like 3 months. So I'm a little bummed out about that right now. Hopefully it'll turn up, but, you know. You can sort of tell which days were like my art block days. Just probably one of those days. Yeah. But also I've been also I like using water soluble ink, so I can go back with my water pen and, you know, add values and stuff. I think this was this the beginning of the 6th book, maybe? Not sure. Probably. There's Ginny again. It's kind of embarrassing just showing how many. You can definitely tell which Harry Potter characters are my favorite just by how often I draw them. That was me. An outfit I was wearing that day. I'm trying to get better with the like brush pens. As you can see, I find it a little bit hard with brush pens because they're so thick. I mean, you can make smaller lines with them, but I just need to practice them a little bit more. Sorry, I'm like putting my hands like all over the pages. Hamlet? Yeah, we were watching Hamlet, and this was like Gertrude or whatever. She had cool like medieval hair. Haha. So this was like November. This was during the election. Yay, this is Tulip from the Infinity Train. I really hope that gets picked up to be a show on Cartoon Network. I really think it can like save Cartoon Network right now. And I'm super psyched because the pilot was so cool and I was so into it. And I am ready. I'm ready for it to be a show and I'm ready to be a fan. This is Darren from Leviathan, one of my favorite book series. Yep. I played a man in a play, so I think I drew how I felt like he should look, which is kind of how I looked, so. It really sucks when you lose a sketchbook, you know? I've just been thinking about that for a while, because I haven't seen my sketchbook. It sucks when you lose a sketchbook, because it's like all, I mean, it's all these drawings and all these things you've thought up, and you just lose it. It's kind of like losing a journal. I'm hopeful that it will somehow find its way back to me. I just took a peek in this sketchbook, which is the next one after this one that I'm almost done with. And I found that I was using a lot of ink in that one, majority ink. And I wonder why that is. I think maybe I prefer ink. not prefer, but to graphite, because you get such nice dark lines, and you can also use watercolor to mess it up and make it look nice and make it look all artistically messy and add values, and pencil can smudge and pen doesn't smudge. So I think if you know what you're doing with ink, you can really do some amazing things. But this page is falling out, or it has fallen out, but I'm just sort of stuffing it in there. Yes, Lucas again. I don't know why I wrote arms! Exclamation point, exclamation. Probably because I messed up the arms. Yeah, appendages or something I need to work on. I think as an artist you go through sort of phases of things that you want to do better. I remember when I was like first learning to draw, I would go through phases where I would like suddenly realize that all of my hands looked awful and I would just work on it and work on it, and then I would go through phases where the legs looked terrible and I would just work on it. But that's kind of how you improve. Alright, I think this is the last page, and it's Darren Sharp. I'm going to reread the Leviathan series. It's kind of what I need after I finished Harry Potter. I mean, I just finished Harry Potter like a few weeks ago. But I think Leviathan is what I need to sort of get over my book hangover. Well, we have this last page. Finished mid-November. These back pages. Alright. And this is a Pentalic sketchbook, by the way. And it's a small one. I don't know what size exactly, but yep. I kind of feel that I need a catchphrase to end my videos with, but I also feel that I don't need that kind of stress in my life right now.